Video, we're going to go over the prompt of Technology and Us, which is our next essay. In addition to going over our prompt, we will also be going over the accompanying brainstorm. So stay tuned for that, folks. Let's start with our prompt. What I want you to do is download it so that you can follow alongside this video. So download the prompt. This is here in the module, Tech and Us Essay Particularities. That's the name of this page. And I have everything ready for us, ready to go. So look at this, Technology and Us. Ooh, microchips. What could this be? What could this be? So hopefully you already read the Veld short story, which is part of this module, to front load your thinking, not only for this week's thematic unit, but also for this particular paper. So check out the prompt. Let me expand this. There we go. One of the more prominent features of science fiction, which is what the Veld is, right, is that it is speculative in nature. This means that it often moves to imagine what a potential future could look like. Ray Bradbury wrote the Veld in 1950. That's more than 7 decades ago. Even though this story was written so long ago, there are numerous things from it that resonate with our modern day and age. Among the story's most accurate predictions is the vision of a society where technology plays an important role. Today, technology is indeed all around us and manifests itself through different shapes and platforms. So you ready for the main question, the main assignment, the main project of this essay, which is what you have to answer in your thesis? Here it is. Write an essay that considers what the role of technology is in our current society. That's our task. What is the role of technology in our current society? When we say role, that is interchangeable with the meanings of job, function, purpose. Essentially, why is it a thing in our society? What does it do for us? What is its point? When we say tech is so broad and just massive. That includes things such as the internet, computer, smartphone, social networking, TV, the radio, drones, robots, Amazon Go, apps, video games, virtual reality headsets, and surprise, surprise, online learning, right? I would even add that to the list. So what we have here are some guiding questions to help move our thinking of this topic of technology in our society. So check them out. How has technology helped to shape our current society? What does tech's presence look like in our society? So start thinking about these things as you begin to move forward in your paper to answer this question, as well as in your brainstorm and here in your essay. So start thinking about these things. How do you personally use technology on a day-to-day basis? What are some examples of the tech that you use? Why do you use it? How do other people use tech on a day-to-day basis? What are some examples of the tech that they use? Why do they use it? So see how I'm getting you to see, like, what's the point of tech, essentially? What's its function? What's its goal? That's what all these questions are guiding you to think about. Is technology a good thing? How helpful is it really? Is there such a thing as using technology too much? Can one become addicted or dependent on technology to the point of not being able to function properly without it? What might this look like? What is the effect of technology on our health, physical and mental? Okay, again, we have our central question. You have to answer this question in your thesis. Explicitly, just answer the question. You have to answer it. What is the function/job of technology in our current society? I have to say something that's really important that I have seen in other papers and in drafts as well. Sometimes students will write, technology is an indispensable part of our society. Okay, so they've introduced that it is an important part of our society, but they don't answer the question, what is its job? Okay, so sure, you can say that it's super important in our society, but you have to answer, what is its job? What is its purpose? You know? what is its role? What is its function? What does it do for us? Like, what is its point? It's not enough to just say it's important and just leave it there. No, answer the question. As simple as it sounds, but it is. Just answer the question. What is its purpose? Why is it a thing I rolled? Anything else? Okay. The main thing you have to remember for this paper is answer the question, what is the job, role, function of tech in our society? And actually the brainstorm that accompanies this will help your thinking a lot. So format requirements, pay attention to this. Everything's MLA, just like we've been learning. We had our homework assignment where you did your own MLA citations and your own works cited page. Square of applause to you all. And another thing, make sure that obviously if you cite anything outside of your own brain, essentially any other secondary sources, then you have to have a works cited page for those sources, right? The minimum length requirement for this is of at least 2 double space pages, and there has to be at least 3.5 pages that you have to write. Yes, I do look at the minimum length requirement, so make sure to meet that if you want to get all the points that you possibly can get. Distribution of points, just like our first essay. The essay itself is worth 100. We'll have a peer review workshop for all of our major essays, actually. That will be 20, just like last time. Nothing's different. MLA and works cited page. Having that correct is 5 points. Here are our important dates. Our brainstorm is actually due at the end of this module, so by Sunday, October 10, by 11:59 p.m. The workshop, make sure to post your rough draft by Wednesday, October 13th. So that will be the next module, okay, for our workshop there. And the final draft itself will be due by Sunday, October 24th. So mark your calendars. And I'm serious. I don't just mean it as an expression, literally. For me, I have a wall calendar where I mark all the deadlines and everything that's coming up. Do that, and that will help you a ton. So what else do we have in our Tech and Us particularities page? Well, we also have our brainstorm, which happens to be due by Sunday. So let's go ahead and download that. And we have this Word document here. Okay, so I have written at the top our central question. Let me actually minimize this. Okay, I have written at the top our central question, which is what you have to answer in your paper. Anytime you have a prompt with a central question, answer the question. Okay, so what is technology's role / function / job in our current society? The reason I have all of these words, role, function, job, is because they mean the same thing. They have interchangeable meanings. I just want you to tell me, what is the job? Why is it a thing in our world, right? What is its role? Okay, so how you will be answering this question. With this at the center of your mind, for your brainstorm, I want you to, off the cuff, just start thinking about this topic of technology and our society, essentially, technology in our society. So off the cuff, and please give me more than, don't just give me 2 points and say, oh, the end, because that's very minimal work, and that's not sufficient. You won't get all the points that you possibly can get, and that's just not trying very hard, right? So just go ham, just give me as many points as you can. Okay, so again, think about this topic, technology in our society. Okay, what does technology do for us in our society? Well, I would say number one, it helps doctors and it helps with healthcare. So after I've said that, I decide which column it will fall under. Is that a benefit or is that a harm? Is it beneficial that it helps doctors and it helps with their healthcare? Or is it harmful? I would say it's a benefit. So I would say technology helps doctors and surgeons to have better procedures and to have better procedures. It also helps patients with healthcare. And then I can think of an example. Example, pacemakers. Blood sugar devices for diabetics, etc. So this is just off the cuff. Like this one, surgeons, I think about their actual operating materials. And their machines. I got a good example. So last year, so September, I had laser surgery on my eyes. You see, I used to wear glasses, and I wore glasses for 20 years until I had LASIK surgery on my eyes, and I'm seeing 20/20 now. And the devices were so cool that they used for the surgery. It was such neat technology, so I'm really grateful for that. By the way, guys, I really recommend LASIK. Where I went, it's called Orange County LASIK Institute, and that's in Irvine. Read their reviews. Like, it's beautiful. It was wonderful. Anyway, okay, so again, technology in our society. What else? Maybe some people can become addicted to smartphones, and they might even text while driving. Okay, so I would put this under harms, right? Because texting while driving is dangerous. Okay, what else? So technology in our society, what else? What can it do? How do you see it present in our society? And this, listen, it doesn't have to be like the points don't have to be related, just as long as you're thinking about like, what does tech do for us in our society? Just draw it out. Okay, what else? Well, tech entertains us, so tech brings a lot of entertainment to us. What else? Okay, just put enter, and then you have the next point. So tech helps us to better organize our lives, and then you can think of some examples. I don't know, maybe planner apps, reminders, calendar apps, etc. So do you see how I am just going off of the cuff of technology and how we see it present in our society? So that's what you have to do. Just go ham on it and keep going as much as you can, and determine whether it falls in the column of benefit or harm. You can either type it out like I'm doing here, or you can print it out and write it out in pen, and then you can scan that and turn that into the assignment link. Okay, now this is very, very, very important. You have to do two things to get full credit in this brainstorm. Number one, you have to do this section where you list your ideas of tech in our society and how you see it present, right? And you're answering this question ultimately. So next thing that you need to do to get full credit is you need to write your own working thesis. So remember, in your thesis, what do you have to do? You have to answer the question. This is the question. What is technology's role, function, job in our society? And this brainstorm should help you to kind of determine what your focus will be. Now, to remind you, a thesis is the project of the paper. It establishes the entire project, so it's very important. Remember that its elements were as follows. Number one, it has its topic. You introduce the topic. That's the ID, remember? Identification of topic. So introduce the topic. Next one is the claim. Say something about the topic, right? Next one is the direction. Those are your reasons that support your claim, like why it is that your claim is true. Like, what are some examples? What are some good examples of why your claim is true, right? So, having said that, take a look at this sample thesis. I'm going to read it all of it once, and then I'm going to identify the elements that I just mentioned for a thesis. Identification of the topic, claim, which is saying something about the topic, and then the direction, which are the supporting reasons for the claim, right? Okay, so check this out. Technology has a ubiquitous presence in our modern day and age. Although it's an undeniably helpful tool, It can also bring potential pitfalls if its users are not careful. Some examples of these pitfalls include addiction and overall dependence. Ultimately, though, technology is more beneficial than harmful. As a tool, it is a large boon because it helps to make our lives easier. This is primarily true through its help in the areas of surgery and our overall healthcare. Okay, so if I was a student, this would be my thesis. Now let's identify the parts, right? Technology has ubiquitous presence in our modern day and age. Although it's an undeniably helpful tool, it can also bring about potential pitfalls if its users are not careful. Okay, so I've introduced the topic of technology in our society, right? Just introduce the topic. Next. So we're still talking about the topic. Some examples of these pitfalls include addiction, overall dependence. So kind of saying, okay, within this topic of tech, it has its good sides and it has its bad sides. That's kind of what I'm saying there. Now, I'm also making a claim about it. Ultimately, though, technology is more beneficial than harmful. See how that's a claim? I'm saying it's more beneficial than harmful. As a tool, okay, I've identified it as a tool. It's a large boon because it helps to make our lives easier. You see, I've just answered the question. What is the role of technology in our current society? Its role is to make our lives easier. I mean, that's what I would say in my current answer. Now comes the direction, the supporting reasons for how it makes our life easier. Well, here's what I would focus on. This is primarily true through its help in the areas of surgery and overall healthcare. So here is where you are establishing your focus for your paper. Now, an essay is a lot like it's like a shark biting a piece of meat. Like if you bite a massive part, then that's too much to work with and it becomes too overwhelming unless you're writing like a master's thesis or a doctoral dissertation. Remember the line from our Irvin reading, a well-tended garden is better than a large one full of weeds? Well, the well-tended garden is, in this case, our focus, right? So my focus in this essay would be, I'll be looking at how tech helps to make our life easier and how it does so particularly through the areas of surgery and overall healthcare. And that's when I would explore things like pacemakers, blood sugar reader devices for diabetics, where I would look at things like prosthetic limbs that help people who are missing limbs and how tech comes into work there. I also saw a thing that in Japan, they had worked on Google Maps technology where people with blindness are helped through it because it tells them something like in 200 meters, turn right, or tells them watch out for such and such thing, such and such obstruction, right? It was really neat. So this would be an opportunity to look into some examples for me of how it helps in surgery and overall healthcare. So that's what you need to do. You need to establish for yourself how you're going to answer this. And in order to do so, that's why you have this brainstorm. That's the whole point of it. And remember that I'm always here to help. And also our embedded tutor, right? Make sure to reach out. With that being said, that is our brainstorm assignment. And remember, as usual, we also have our samples, our sample essays here, right? So check these out for looking at these anonymous submissions of these essays. Of this essay, so you can see what a potential iteration of it could be. Here's the assignment link for it, for the brainstorm, which is due Sunday, right? And that, and here, we already said that. That's what we have. That is our essay. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm always there to help. With that, happy writing and enjoy your week.